Okay, well, there we are. We're live. Good. All right. So I'm going to just go ahead and start. And if you join in, awesome. I'm kind of working on a tight schedule today. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've got going on. And then if you missed it, you can come back and watch later on. How's that? Because I'll save it and we'll just upload it immediately. One thing that I was going to show you guys to get ready for this week's coming up class is the Monster's Wife. And here's our little freebie video this week is how do we make a funky old Halloween shop wig work for a cool Halloween costume? I mean, you know, the idea with these classes is how do we look as cool as we can for as cheaply as possible, right? The idea, you know, you don't want to, hi guys, welcome. You don't want to end up spending a fortune, but you don't want some old funky looking, you know, rat on top of your head. I mean, that's just not what we're going for, okay? We want it to look really cool. Now, if you wanted to, you could go get you a big, nice wig with a lace front, put a foam insert in it, tease it up, and comb it around. I mean, that's what they did with Elsa Lancaster's hair. As this is actually her real hair, and they just put a wire cage in there and teased it up around it. But what we're going to end up with is definitely not that. It's not that cool. What we end up with is, you know, the Halloween store funk, which is this thing. You know, when you take it out of the bag, it doesn't even look that good, you know. And here's the thing, guys. Don't open up a Halloween store wig and shake it and put it on your head and expect to win the Halloween costume contest. Nuh-uh. Ain't happening, okay? So hey, Rick, Corrine, Jeanette, Brittany, Elizabeth. Hi, guys. How are you? So what we have to do is you got to do something with this. You just can't open it up and plop it on your noggin and go out on the town, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm showing you what I do to these things. This is kind of a variation on my anime cosplay wig class, but I'm just going to go over it really briefly and just going to show you the methods and stuff. I did half of the wig already down the middle so that you can see the difference between this funky thing and what is hopefully going to look like. Now, like I said, it's not going to look exactly like this, but it's going to look close enough to the point where it'll be worth your time to do it. Let's put it that way, because it is a little time consuming, but you're going to want to do it because that, no, okay? So sorry, I'm in a mood today. Can you tell? So the thing that you have to do is you have to open it up. Now, I've got a few things that I've been working with this project too. Today, here's some supplies, right? I've got some thinning shears because we are going to want to take some bulk out of this sucker, okay? I actually have some hair cutting scissors. Those are, barber's shears, hairdresser's shears, okay? Cosmetology shears. I do have a little wig vent brush with the little round balls on the end of this. Here's a teasing brush. We're using that. Good old school pick. Ding, 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 ding. I'm going to use that. And I have this comb, teasing comb with a pick on the end of it as well that I've been using. I even have this metal probe tool that we use when we sculpt. And I've been, you can futz with that in finer details with that. The hairspray that I got, of course, guys, is everybody knows this stuff, I think, at this point. Got to be glued. Yeah, so there's that. And the old school hairspray, the grand finale. It's like that can, I think, is from the 60s, if the brand isn't. So this stuff is what I used to use before this stuff came along. And this stuff is very nice, but it doesn't hold like this stuff. This is what I would use to work with and put it in where I want it. And then when I know I've got it where I want it, that's when I go in with this stuff. Okay. And then also even have a little alcohol squirt bottle around because if you're working with it, you can just lightly mist it, something that you've already sprayed. It will reactivate the spray so you don't end up caking a bunch of spray into the wig that you don't want to do that at that point, right? So when we open up our wig, we end up, with something that looks, oh, there we go. Something that looks like this, all right? So I've put this on this is a wig stand, right? And this is a canvas wig stand so that I can actually, stick the pins in. I was going to show you how to do that. I've got 3 pins up front. Might be a little overkill, but I've been wailing on this thing. And then there's a pin at each sideburn area, I guess corners of the ears. And then we've got 3 in the back too. So when you do these, I've got one over here. So I'm going to do the other 2. And we're just going to go up under there. And can you see what I'm doing? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. All right. There we go. Stick that one in there in the middle. And then one more on the back side. This will just help keep the head, the hair sturdy on the head while we're brushing vigorously. Okay, so there's that one. All right. Doing this with one hand. All right, so here's what old bride looked like when she come out the bag. And it is obvious that the child in this picture, it just wore it straight out the bag. And we don't want to do that, okay? You can just work with it just for a little bit and see what you'd end up with is something that looks a little bit better, like that. Now, the problem with this character and using one of these old stank wigs is they're bulky in the wrong places. If you look at her head, it tapers. Her hair tapers out. So, and these things are built like a Marge Simpson hairdo. So, it's very hard to get that look, that flared, and that crazy hair that she has. So the thing that you want to do, what I did is I took some of the bulk out of the bottom of this with these thinning shears, and then you can lay this in after teasing it out a little bit. You can lay this in a little bit better. And then what you can do, because the hair, Elsa Lancaster's hair was actually that long. If that's the length of her hair, so to finger wave it was easy, right? You could just do that all the way up. But these little hairs are very short. They're just a cheap old wig, right? So they're definitely not going to give you a wig that has, for $20 that has hair, that's 20 inches long. However, you can continue this look, and what you have to do is watch what happens if I just pull that down. Oops, okay. So the idea is that you can continue this look, but it doesn't have to be one continuous strand of hair. So you can kind of cheat it, all right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cheat it. But first, what we have to do is you have to brush it first. And for that, I've got this guy, okay? And I've just pulled, you want to pull all these, see that these little hairs are not even hair. It's just woven into the netting, and it's just thin strands of plastic, right? So you have to go through with your brush and your teasing comb or whatever you're using, and pull all that out. See that? I'm going to pull all this out first. And I did some of this in the middle here, but I did not. I thought, well, I should leave some of it so you can see me working on it a little bit. And so we want to pull this all the way out. All right, so the first thing I want to do, this is ridiculous right here. I don't even know what that's all about. So we want to get rid of this. And what I did on the other side was I went down into it and separated out some of that black, because see how it's got black running through the middle of it. So we're going to use our scissors, and we're just going to take out some of that black because we don't need it right there. There we go. Boop. All right, we'll do that. Let's get rid of this chunk of black too. That doesn't need to be there either. Okay. Laying some hair around the edge of this wig. So we have this white braid here, it's a little off color, but also we do have the white hairspray, so I'm not worried too much about that at this point. But, if we wanted to, we could pull some of this white hair out and use this as, something that would actually look more like that, lightning bolt that has up both sides. Now, the other thing that you can do too, we can use the black. I'm saving this for Frankenstein's monster on Halloween. However, one or two little pieces of this, we can cut this and lay into the hair. And if you wanted to have like a hairline there, you could build a hairline with just adding hair over top of that. Okay, and then when you spray it all together, be very careful when you remove it, and you can have a nice little makeshift hairline there. Okay, all right, I'm going to pull out another little chunk of black. Let's see how we're doing on time. What time is it? All right. Yonk. Get rid of that. Weird that they would put that in there like that, huh? Okay, so now what we have is we're going to have like a nice little bunch of white here to work with. But, we're going to take some of that white out in the length because it'll be too bulky anyway. I think what did I do over there? I think I thinned that out, but I'm going to pull this one out too. This is kind of a weird spot. So this is the thing that you have to do. You want to get, if you don't have, of course you don't have, if you're not a professional makeup person or a hair person, you're probably not going to have a block like this at home. But, everybody has access to getting one of those styrofoam dudes, right? You can get one of those little styrofoam guys, put it down on a broomstick, whatever you got around the house, and, get to town. It's not that hard. This is just time-consuming crud, honestly. It's just a little on the time-consuming side. Now, and I ended up thinning some out of this midsection, too, because we wanted to pull some of this from down here into the rest of this, but as this gets higher, these hairs get shorter, so it's not really the best quality wig. And that's kind of the point, because this is what you're going to have available to you at Halloween. Nobody's going to spend... unless you're a huge fan of Bride of Frankenstein, nobody's going to spend $300 on a wig. So you buy this crap and you can spruce it up a little bit. Okay. Now, what I'm doing is I'm kind of trying to get some shape here. I'm going to work with the white part first and then use it to kind of frame in the rest of this. See, I'll back up a little bit. See how this side is really puffy and this side is like nice and sleek. We want to kind of get this side to do the same thing so that we can emulate this this wedge shape. And then we're going to lay this down too so that we also have, the whole point is that the silhouette is that the hair goes back. It doesn't stick straight up. It's not a Marge Simpson hairdo. It goes back. So that's what you want to do with the wig. So yes, I hope you guys will think about joining us this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to create the jaw wound, actually. And I thought, well, I don't know that there's, much to that in the film. She's literally in the movie for, 5 minutes? Has anybody out there actually seen it? Anybody listening to this has seen the movie? Because I know a lot of people haven't seen those movies. They're like the fables that everybody just knows about, But they all are on Peacock right now. If you have Peacock, go watch them. Okay. Get rid of these two, because why are you there? All right. Good enough. So we're going to start with a little bit of the old school hairspray. And you can use really any brand of hairspray that you want for this step. I do recommend getting the good stuff, though, to really cement it together, because you really do want that got to bead at the end, or you're just going to end up going through 2 or 3 different cans of something else just to get it anywhere near to that firmness. I've been letting the little caps sit in the alcohol because I think they were clogged a minute ago. But we'll just go ahead and start this. I just lightly put a little bit of spray in there, and then you can start in with the brush and just pulling it in to the rest of it like that. And I think we'll take some of this. And we want to stop with that. What I am going to do is pull some of this off of the back end with this thinning shears. Now these are fun. If you don't have a pair of these are really neat. You can get these really anywhere. I think you can get them at places like Rite Aid. And all you do is it's like one little snip, and then you pull it. And then what it does is see how the bulk that it takes out of there without cutting a lot of that length out. So now, in this case, I am going to try and get a little bit of the length gone, but and you can just keep at it with the thinning shears, and it'll eventually cut it and make it, a nice tapered hair blend into the rest of it. Or you can, reach down with your actual shears and just go, like that, cut it. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is all going to get teased together, and then it'll get combed into itself, and then that'll make that look a little bit better. We'll want to thin this front piece too, because we've got a lot of bulk here. We don't want to get rid of it, because I don't want to get rid of that at all. I mean, like I did with the black, cutting it out, because that white is really important to the character. So you want to keep as much of that in there as possible. Now, if I still feel like there's too much weight in there, I'll go back in and cut some more out. I think that I'm going to take some of that length off right there. And then what I'll do is I will tuck that in. There we go. I want to make sure that it matches the other side. Yep. And let's give it some more spray with the regular stuff. I'll go in with Now here's the thing, because I told you these wigs are just made out of plastic, so you can't put any heat on any of this stuff. If you put heat on it, it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to blow out any body that was in the thing in the first place, and then you're going to get mad because it's going to look like Cher from the 70s doing The Bride of Frankenstein, or it'll melt it. So you definitely don't want that. So you can't put heat on it. But the cool thing about it is, because they're just little strands of plastic, it makes it easy to just kind of get them sticky with the hairspray, and then you can really just shape it however you want with your fingers. Okay, now, the trick that I used on the other side, these little invisible pins like this. So I can just take this pin, stick it in like that, and there we go. Now, the other thing is, with this wig, this sucker's hollow. So this is like a big empty hole in here. So what I had to also do, and what I would think that most of you guys that are doing this with me are going to have to do as well, is you're going to have to stuff this with some cotton or some stuffing batting, or if you're a quilter, some quilting batting would work. You're definitely going to want to stuff it, because that way it will help hold its shape, and you won't have to worry about it, falling over on you when you're working on it. Okay, so that has helped me get somewhat of this taper in there that I wanted. Used a pin, and I also cut some of the bulk out. Stick another one in there. Okay, so I'll put this upright, and then we'll step back away from it, and I'll show you what we've got. So that's a little bit better. There's still got some bulk here that needs to come out. Okay, but we're getting the shape. See, that's... me and my sound effects. So I've got like this, alien head happening. And that's kind of what, that's probably the best that you're going to hope for with this crappy little Halloween type wig, okay? But that doesn't mean that it can't look good either. So now I'm going to show you how I did this part, and then I'll probably get out of your hair for the night. And then you'll just have to see the finished product on Saturday. So what I'm going to do first is I'm pulling these curls that, see, they're kind of almost in the right shape that they need to be in anyway, the little short guys up here at the top, right? So I'm going to use the brush here for a minute. And I'm going to separate. See, I've got this section separated right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the rat tail, and I'm going to pull this all out into one section, okay? And that's going to be my top set of curls. And you have to work from the top down because you have to tuck each one underneath the last one. So it's kind of, and then this one has to roll over the bottom of the last piece. Okay? So hopefully that's understandable. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to comb through this again. Some white hairspray, Graftobian brand hairspray, doesn't matter what brand. If you want to get a can of hairspray as well to punch up your wig, if you want to get some lashes. Also, I did add a few extra things. I forgot to tell you guys. I added a few extra things to that supply list, like lashes and some wax for the brows, because we do need to wax the brow out. And you can either use wax or you can use drag queen favorite, the old-fashioned glue stick, school glue stick. So you can do that, or you can wax them out with me with the spirit gum and mortician's wax, or nose and scar wax as it's more commonly referred to. So we'll use the nose and scar wax, some spirit gum, and you will see how we get rid of eyebrows so that we can draw in new ones. But I can keep talking the whole time. Those of you that know me know that I can keep talking the whole time. All right. It's getting somewhere. All right. But I am getting a frog in my throat from talking the whole time. So I'm going to 86 it for now. You can see where it's going. You definitely saw where it's been. And where it's going is a heck of a lot better direction, I think. So once we get this, this silhouette in, then we'll fix the back. Probably not as ornately as what we're going to do here in the front. Okay. I'll put up a picture or something. How's that? So you can see what we're doing. Ta-da! So it's definitely better than straight out the bag. It will be. All right. So, guys, thanks for stopping in tonight. And, hope I see you guys on Saturday. It's going to be awesome. We're going to continue on with our Monster Madness. Now, we're still a little short on the wolf and the monster. So, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet and you're thinking about it, do it sooner than later. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.